इसके बाद Hi. So welcome friends. So welcome. Today I am going to discuss, already I have discussed some questions and solved some compulsory question, and now you know, for this paper May 2017 I am going to discuss case study. First I discuss case study, and then in the next video I will solve some questions, very good questions, particularly practical questions. And before that, so let me tell you, solutions are lying with you. I have already prepared the solutions and typing, everything is okay, got ready. The hard copy is ready with me, and if anybody wants solutions for soft copy, because hard copy it is not possible, for soft copy you can send a mail, to me, and if you send a mail to this address sprao IDT @yahoo.com, sprao IDT @yahoo.com, and my WhatsApp number is 9811737205. So in fact I have already received a very good number of mails for sending this. I am sending mails to them with complete solutions, total solutions, and the rest you also, if you want, you can send a mail to me on this with a request, sprao IDT @yahoo.com, and this is my WhatsApp number. And a special request for you, that is, you please subscribe to my channel if you like it, and of course it is not a condition precedent that you should subscribe to the channel, then only I will be sending you the mail. It is not necessary, I can send even without that, but as a goodwill gesture to support, you can subscribe so that you will be getting other useful information for your career, for your profession, because I have already uploaded a number of video lectures on GST, crucial and critical areas, and also I am going to upload many more things. Particularly recently GST Council has decided the rates of GST both for services and goods, and there are certain critical areas which I would like to throw light upon, and the GST you have to grapple with after your qualification, you know. So for all these things, to get my videos on hand readily, you please subscribe. Okay, so subscribe and send me a mail. You will be getting full solutions, all say around 20, more than 20 pages, because the paper is a little bit lengthy as usual, because you cannot expect the paper to be very simple. So now what is it that I am going to discuss right now? Case study. So in case study 2, 3, one case study, one is from central excise, 1 or 2 from central excise, 1 from customs, and 2 or 3 from, as we do we will come to know, and 2 or 1, 2, 3, I think 3 from service tax, 2 from excise, and 1 from customs, something like that. We will do, I will discuss the case study first, and I will also explain how you should attempt a case study. So in the case of 1 or 2 cases, not with every case, so that it will be of use to you. So first one is, it is question number 3A. Question number 3A, it is a case study, it is from excise. me read the question given here, and I a little bit explain also, analyze also, then I will answer. See the papers, the question says MS Vishwas Packers purchased. Vishwas Packers purchased duty paid GI paper from the market and carried out printing on it according to the design and specifications of the customer. So, duty paid GI paper from the market and carried out printing on it. There is a GI paper and there is a printing design according to the design and specification of the customer. And the printing was done on jumbo rolls of GIP twist wrappers. It was done on wrappers. Logo and name of the product was printed on the paper in colorful form. Logo and name of the product printed on the colorful form, and the same was delivered to the customers in jumbo rolls without slitting. The same paper was delivered to the customers. The customer intended to use this paper as a wrapping packing paper for packing of their goods. Is the wrapper the customer is using, they are printing with the logo name in a colorful design as per the customer, and they are sending, and the customer is using to pack his products. Department issued a demand notice. Demand cum show cause notice. So what is the difference between demand notice and show cause notice? I need not tell you, you are final students. The demand notice is actually liability is confirmed, ascertained amount. Simply the department has to recover, that is demand notice. Show cause notice means amount is to be ascertained, means department thinks that amount is receivable, but the party, it is not confirmed because it is confirmed after show cause notice. So a show cause notice is to be sent, and the party should be given an opportunity of being heard. After his representation, an adjudication order follows, and in that adjudication order, if it is concluded that he is liable, then the liability arises because ascertainment is there. Then if he does not pay, then demand notice. So that is the difference between demand notice and show cause notice. For a show cause notice, there is a process involved because adjudication, the amount was not ascertained and confirmed legally, judicially. But whereas for a demand notice already confirmed, amount is confirmed, simply collection is left. So demand cum show cause notice has been issued claiming that the printing of jumbo rolls of GI paper as per design and specification of the customers with logo and name of the product in colorful form amounts to manufacture. So, and Vishwas Packers is liable to pay excise duty thereon. Examine with the help of decided case law, if any, whether the department is justified in issuing show cause notice for the recovery of duty. Say, this question is actually, if somebody did not prepare for the latest case study, and based on his understanding or knowledge, if he tries to guess and write, his answer is likely to go wrong, because there are other cases. There were so many cases earlier even decided by Supreme Court, similar, not exactly similar, but somewhat similar, in which one is JG Glass and some other cases are there, in which the courts held that mere printing of logo, mere printing of design, ceramic painting, etc. doesn't amount to manufacture because it doesn't create something new. For example, glass bottles are there, on bottles some ceramic painting was there, printing was there, logo was printed. Whether it is a manufacturer or not, in so many cases are there similar to that, in which the courts held, particularly Supreme Court held that there is no manufacture here because there is nothing new has emerged. Because see, for that what happens is, what is important is, in those cases JG Glass and other cases, the court held that by printing nothing new happened, and even without printing, the bottle was marketable. When a product is marketable even without printing, it is not essential. If it is essential for marketing, then because for Levy, manufacture and marketability both are essential ingredients. They are like two sides of a coin. If both are not there, if either of them is missing, suppose there is a manufacture, marketability is missing, or suppose there is marketability, manufacture is missing, there can be no levy. There should be manufacture, and also that product should be marketable. Of course, marketability presupposes mobility. Anything immobile cannot be marketable. So, manufacture and marketability are two essential ingredients, two pillars. But in this particular case, you see, the Supreme Court, because facts vary from case to case, based on the facts, by studying the facts of the case, Supreme Court finally concluded that there is a manufacture, because according to the Supreme Court's finding, by printing logo, design, etc., on the wrappers, you have produced something new. A new and distinct product has emerged, and there is a transformation. Because of this activity of printing, there is transformation. So, because there is a transformation, there is a manufacture, you have to pay duty. Of course, it is almost a border case. Because Supreme Court has already decided, you cannot dispute it. Certainly, the Honorable Supreme Court must have seen some merit. When a particular case is a border case, this way it is possible, it is a manufacture, this way it is possible, it is not a manufacture. In such a case, somewhat the decision is tilted towards either revenue or the party, as the case may be, depends. So, in this particular case, it was tilted towards the revenue. In favor of the revenue, the Supreme Court held that there is a manufacture, because by the printing, you have produced something new. A new and distinct article has emerged. Prior to printing, it was a plain sheet, and now after printing, it has attained some new features, and which make this product a manufactured product. That is the ruling of the Supreme Court, and with due respect, we have to write in the examination, yes, there is a manufacture as per the decision given by Supreme Court in what is that case? Decided case is Filtrite Packers. It's a Filtrite Packers case. Filtrite Packers. Based on the facts of Filtrite Packers Private Limited. It's Private Limited of Filtrite Packers, decided in 2015 by Supreme Court. This you need not write in the examination. If you can write, it is okay, added advantage. So, I tell you, the paper setter or the examiner certainly gives you some clues, particularly in CA. When the paper setter sets the paper, the question will be a little lengthy, so that he wants, so that you may catch it, so that you may catch the clue point. Somewhere you will get the clue, provided that you went to the examination hall for a reasonable preparation. You see here, the question is Filtrite Packers. The case, name of the case is Packers. But what is the question here? It says, Vishwas Packers purchased. The question, the examiner says, Vishwas Packers purchased. Vishwas Packers purchased, the name of the case is Filtrite Packers. Packers is a clue word. So, it should strike, yes, Packers, which Packers? Maybe Filtrite Packers. So, if you are able to recall that way, you are getting 4 marks. See, for this, you will at least get 3 out of 4. If your language is very clear, very good, and you will get full marks, 4 out of 4. Okay? See, what is the language I used? In fact, I put it in a shortcut way, simple way. The question is based on the case of Filtrate Packers 2015 decided by the Supreme Court. The Honorable Supreme Court held that after printing the logo and other details on the GI paper as per the specification of the customer became a new and distinct entity, and hence there is manufacture. The department therefore is justified in demanding duty by issuing a show cause notice under section 11A, show cause notice cum demand notice under section 11A of the Central Excise Act 1944. And the answer can be a little lengthy also. How it can be lengthy? To get full marks, if you have time, if your time permits, what you have to do is you explain briefly what is manufacture. To be manufacture, for example, if I have to write answer, I write a little more information about manufacture, because the answer is very succinct and brief, because you want to get 4 out of 4. How, what you extra do? Say to be a manufacturer as per section 2F of Central Excise Act, read with the definition given by Supreme Court in Delhi Cloth Mills case. The process should undergo, through the process, the product, the input should undergo transformation. So there should be a transformation of input into something different, and a new and different article must emerge having a distinctive name, character or use to call it manufacture. So in this particular case, according to the Supreme Court, there is transformation, because who are we to do? So because Supreme Court said it and we simply endorse it. We don't critically examine it, because only an LLB student, a law student can do that. But professional students like chartered accountants, they cannot simply be a Roman in Rome. The boss is always right. Supreme Court said it, and accordingly we give our reasoning, and we follow the reasoning and we quote. So as per the contention by Supreme Court, this is, as per the opinion of the Supreme Court, this process is a manufacturing process. The product is a transformed product, so excise duty is leviable on this, something like that. See, two things you have to take care of. One is the time. You always keep in mind the time that we have, and when the time is very limited, only write those things which are very relevant and to the point. Still you will be getting good marks. Your answer cannot be so lengthy, remember, in professional examinations. Okay, so go to next question. 3B. 3B is also a case study. So interestingly, this is from service tax. This is somewhat redundant. Question is redundant, but asked, you have to answer. What is the question here? It is based on an old case, 2011-2012 case. Of course, very popular. I think already it appeared in the examination once, or appeared in other examination like CS somehow. But it's a good question, popular. And question is 3B. A city municipal corporation rented various properties owned by it and received rental income. City municipal corporation received rents. When the department demanded service tax on the rental income, it was contended by the corporation that as per the rental agreement, the tenant is liable. As per the rental agreement, the tenant is liable to pay any tax or levy directly to the concerned authority, and requested the department to recover the tax dues from the tenants. Write a brief note whether the stand of the corporation is correct. You can take the help of the case law in support of your answer. Say, to be honest, to be frank, the drafting was not very good in this particular case. In other cases, okay. Say, the facts briefly. This is a case of Chartala, Kishore KS V Chartala municipality. Actually, the case, facts of the case are Kishore KS Chartala, municipality, not even municipal corporation. It is not even corporation. It was a case, I think, 2011. And look at other cases like Rashtriya Ispat Nigam. It was there in your institutes, this also. And recently there is a DTC case also, Delhi Transport Corporation. So what happened is, municipal corporation, it has some establishments and rented to parties. So rental income is coming, and as per the agreement, whatever is payable to the government in the form of taxes, if any, that is the headache of the tenants. Okay. But this is taxable, even though provided by municipal authorities. This is not under the negative list. And earlier to, the case was earlier to the negative list regime. So department issued a notice and it was confirmed that service tax is payable on that. Then municipal corporation turned the municipality, the municipal authorities turned the table on the tenants, stating you pay the service tax also, whatever is payable you pay. You are paying rent means automatically your liability is extended, coextensive. The liability is coextensive, and the service tax also, service tax you pay to the government, you have to pay as per the agreement. And the tenants also opposed, naturally. How the case was decided? The case was decided, of course, in favor of the municipality, and the court held, yes, okay, when you are paying rent and as per the agreement, because the agreement provides for it, as per the agreement, you are also liable to pay the tax also, and the liability can be shifted. See, service provider is liable to pay service tax in those days when the case was belonging to. When the service provider is liable to pay service tax, he can ask the service receiver to pay, fulfill the legal obligation. Statutory obligation can be fulfilled by recipient by an agreement. So through an agreement it can be done. So it can be done through an agreement. So as per the agreement, it asked the tenants to pay. So far so good. But you see, to what extent it is relevant today. So before that, I would like to discuss another case. For example, Delhi Transport Corporation. I think Delhi Transport Corporation is providing services to advertisers. It is allowing, I believe, it is allowing the advertisers to have advertisement on depot establishments, on buses, etc., etc. On bus, you will find advertisements, and bus stops. So the advertiser, there was an agreement between the corporation, Delhi Transport Corporation, and the advertiser, the recipient of services, that whatever taxes, dues, etc. are payable, you have to pay. Yes, agreed. In fact, DTC is liable to pay, but the liability was shifted. As per the agreement, the receiver of service has agreed to pay, but he did not pay. And naturally, department straight away sent a notice to the DTC. You are providing so and so service to so and so parties, you have provided, and where is the tax? You pay tax. And simply DTC wants to wash the hands, saying, no, already it is the responsibility of the receiver. because we have an agreement, it is his responsibility to pay the service tax. So, we are not in any way liable, we are not under an obligation to pay because of the agreement. Because of the agreement, the liability is shifted, and we are under no obligation to pay. You collect from them. If he doesn't pay, go to hell, because this is a government, semi-government, na? But the court really charged the DTC. See, as per law, you are liable to pay. No doubt, you can shift the liability. Who prevented you? You can shift the liability. Instead, you can say, you can ask anybody, or you can ask the recipient to pay on your behalf. But what the government wants is tax, and if the government is getting the tax either from you or from somebody ordered by you, it is okay, it is getting money, it is okay. See, shifting of liability is no objection. As per the legal position, it is an established principle that a person who is liable to pay tax can shift the liability to the other party, and okay, for government there should be no objection because anyway it is getting money. But if it doesn't pay, it is your responsibility. If it doesn't pay, your liability doesn't cease, you still have to pay. Say, it all even used very daunting language, said, you are a public sector organization, you should have been more responsible. Unlike a private party, you are expected to be more responsible, and simply you are throwing the wicket saying that you collect from him. If he doesn't pay, we are not answerable. Not like that. If he doesn't pay, you have to pay, because basically as per law it is your liability. If he doesn't pay, you have to pay. So, there is slight variation between this case and that case, and there was also Rashtriya Ispat Nigam Limited case also. But as a whole, the thing is, there are 2 points. As per law, as per the legal position, as per the decided cases, a person who is liable to pay tax can shift the liability to other party. Okay. So, what if he doesn't pay? Then your liability doesn't cease, your responsibility still continues. Okay? It is like the case of a surety. If he doesn't pay, it will fall upon you. So, that is the legal position. But in this case, what is the answer that we have to write? So, the same way you have to write a brief note whether the stand of the corporation is correct. As per this particular decided case, the stand taken by the municipality is correct. But you have to write this point also. Where you are liable to pay and you have shifted the liability through an agreement, your liability still is there if the other party fails to pay, because basically as per law you are liable. So, that point is there, but to play safe, important thing is this case actually is redundant. Facts of the case are redundant to some extent. Why? Because after 2012, after 2012 there is a negative list. Okay? There is a negative list to service tax, and if you look at section 66DA, and last item 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. See, now after the amendment, there is an amendment also in 2015-16. Any service provided by government or a local authority to a business entity. You remember this? Any service provided by government or local authority to a business entity is taxable. Earlier, business support services, now any service by government or local authority. So, municipality is a local authority. So, it has provided the service of renting. Okay? basically renting of immobile property. If it is a renting of immobile property, reverse charge mechanism is not applicable, right? If it is a case of renting of immobile property, whether by government or local authority, not necessarily reverse charge, but it is liable to pay. It has shifted, and if the other party fails to pay, then what happens? That way, if you are able to analyze and write your answer, examiner will be very happy. Means your ability to comprehend, ability to analyze, that is given due weightage of marks. What simply has been decided in a particular case, facts of the case are there, simply you know the name of the case and you put it. But still, if you are able to analyze, he will appreciate. So while checking the other questions, because he has already created a good impression on this, while checking the other answers, other questions, he will be doing the checking with a little more favor. So remember this. Okay. Any services provided by government or local authority is under reverse charge. Anyway, the recipient is supposed to pay. But what about immobile property, renting of immobile property? Is reverse charge applicable to that? You have to examine. No. This paper, I tell you, one of the best papers, because paper is not difficult, but at the same time paper is not so easy, but at the same time the paper has been set in such a technical way, but it has been set in a very, very intelligent way. Unless you put your brain totally, properly, you will not be able to catch. There is a likelihood that you will be mistaken. You understand something and it is about something else. That is possible, because there are questions like this. And come to next one, next case study. Continuation C, 3C. This again is on service tax. Question 3C, adjudication order was passed. Question 3C, adjudication order passed. This is actually latest case on service tax. I read out anyway. Adjudication order was passed and was forwarded to the SSC. It was forwarded. However, the SSC did not receive the same. It did not receive. It learnt about the order only after receipt of a letter from superintendent nearly after 2 years. He received one fine day a letter from the superintendent that you have to pay this much of amount so and so after 2 years, directing it to pay dues as per the said order. Thereafter, a copy of that order was made available to the SSC, and he got the order now. Copy of the order he received after 2 years. The appeal filed by the SSC against the said order was rejected by the commissioner. He filed an appeal. He received the copy and he filed an appeal. It was rejected by the commissioner appeals, and also after that he went for further appeal before that CSTAT. CSTAT also rejected, being barred by limitation, already time limitation, because it's a delayed appeal, time bar. The SSC contended that the appeal could not be held to be barred by limitation as no order was received by it. I have not received any order. I have received copy only today, only now, and from now you count the period of limitation. But the appellate authorities, first by commissioner appeals and next by tribunal, they say we count from the date of serving the notice, serving the order. Whether you have received or not, it is not considered. Write a brief note with the help of decided case law, if any. whether under the provisions of service tax law, the period of limitation can be computed from the date of forwarding the order where such order has not been received by the SSC. See, judicial correction. So, why appeal is provided under law? Because there may be some error, technical or other error, conceptual error by the lower authority, and when it goes up to the higher authority, in all their wisdom, the higher authorities, higher courts, they will check up. So, this is a case of judicial correction. How? The Bombay High Court, it's a case from Bombay High Court, it's a decided case, NST Engineering Private Limited. NST, this is the Bombay High Court. I think this is 2016 case, latest. Went for an appeal and the Bombay High Court, because it's a writ filed by the party on substantial question of law. So, there is an error in law in deciding, because unless there is a substantial question of law, you cannot go to the High Court. So, filed a writ under Article 226 or 225 as the case may be, and stating that there is an error in the decision given by the tribunal. Because I have not received, because I have no knowledge of the order, the limitation period should be counted from the date of knowledge, date of knowing, or date of receiving the copy. So, if it is counted that way, it should be reckoned. Limitation period should start from the date of receiving the copy. Yes, the Bombay High Court said yes. Simply, you have sent, you have forwarded the order doesn't mean that the legal obligation is created there. So, because the party has not received, it should be counted from the date of receipt by the party. So, the appeal is not limited by, is not restricted by limitation or bar of limitation. So, you have to accept. So, the case was remanded, sent back to the tribunal for fresh hearing and decision. You please accept this, you have to accept this appeal and hear it and decide accordingly. It did not say that he was not liable. The Bombay High Court only said that you rejected the appeal, you should have accepted the appeal, because limitation period should be counted from the date of receipt by the party, not from the date of sending your order. Okay? So, NST Engineering Private Limited, there was another case, Jyoti, in the name of Jyoti, but it was received by her nephew or somebody else, a relative. So, somebody in the family has received na, so that is counted, but this is a different case. So, no confusion. And next, D, this is from customs, 3D, A, B, C, D, entire question number 3 has been for case study only. This is from customs. Simple case, section 110 of customs. So, in section 110 of customs, you know 110 about improper import. One 112. So, imports, improper imports and penalties, all these things. So, a notice has been issued under section 110, but the notice has been given to the customs broker, that is customs house agent. In the good olden days, he was called as customs house agent, now he is customs broker, not to the importer. Is it valid? Is it a valid serving of notice? for this is also a latest case, Santosh Handlooms 2016, Santosh Handlooms, Delhi High Court. (2016) case. You see, latest 2016 cases also they have given. For November attempt, even 2017 cases he may give for the first half up to April 30th. If any case was there up to April 30th, that will be given. So now the question is, a notice, it's a serious matter. Notice given to the customs agent is a notice to the party, not in all cases. See, what is the role of a customs agent actually? Customs agent acts as an agent in clearance of goods. Suppose you have imported goods, you can import through customs agent, he will do all the formalities for you and he will collect some charges. Sometimes he will pay the custom duty on your behalf and he will collect. So for export or import, clearance of import and export or incidental matters, he will be acting as an agent. Just like a steamer agent who will be acting as an agent for the shipping company, transporter, he is acting as agent of the importer or exporter. His role is limited. But for the violation under section 110, which is a very serious violation, simply by serving a notice on the customs agent, because he is looking into the customs procedural aspects. He is not in any way involved in taking decision in importing a product which is illegal or otherwise. Here there is no role played by the customs agent. He is only, when the goods are there, he plays the role of clearance of imported goods. Sometimes when you want to export clearance, all these things, procedural aspects, he doesn't have any role in what to import, all these things. So serving a notice on the customs broker is not a serving on the importer. Here the importer is not bound by the notice. Write a brief note with reference to the relevant provisions and case law. And Santosh Handlooms, it's a case of Santosh Handlooms. So it cannot be taken as notice served on the importer. So importer is not bound by it. Then what is the remedy? The department should have served the notice directly on the importer to be valid. So the stand taken by the party is correct, and this is not a valid service of the notice. Done. So next, question number 3, A, B, C, D, and after this question number 5. Question number 5A, Sudarshan and Sons is a small scale unit manufacturing plastic nameplates. This is from your practice manual actually. It's a very old case, 2007 case. Sometimes it so happens. So the examiner picked up from the practice manual, though this is a very old case, it is in the practice manual, you pick it up and given. So 5A, question 5A, it is nameplates, plastic nameplates. This is a case of classification. So the question is whether this is to be classified, whether the product is to be classified. He is manufacturing plastic nameplates for motor vehicles. The question is whether it is to be classified according to the department. This is to be classified as other plastic goods. under a particular classification number, and according to the SSC, it is to be classified as accessories to automobiles or motor vehicles. Accessories to automobiles or motor vehicles. Parts and accessories of motor vehicles. This is, I think, Supreme Court case Pragati Silicons. The case, name of the case is Pragati. You find this in your practice manual. So, practice manual, no doubt, is like a Bible, like a Bhagavad Gita or Quran or Guru Granth Sahib for the student of CA. Certainly, some questions may always come. So, Pragati Silicon's case decided by the Supreme Court, it said it is to be decided under chapter 87 motor vehicles, 8708 and 8714, and not under other categories, other plastic products. Naturally, classification disputes, why they come, other products, the rate of duty will be different, maybe a little higher, whereas the plastic nameplates, either they are having lower rate or they are having some exemption. Obviously, department always tries to fit a particular thing into that category where the rate of duty is high or higher. So, hence the dispute, and that dispute successfully government avoided by putting a single rate for all taxes, all services in India. Says since 1994, 2017, classification disputes are nil, because all services are charged uniformly at a particular rate. Even exemption has been given in the name of abatement. Now, under GST, they are deviating from the same principle, and now under GST, services are under 4 categories. See, 4 categories: 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. History repeats itself. And goods, of course, 4 categories plus gold and silver, 5th category, except special case. See, now in GST regime, classification disputes are going to crop up, and for the professionals, particularly consultants and those who are into representation field, representational services, there is a plenty of opportunity in GST that you will getting a number of cases to represent in the name of classification disputes, both in goods and services. You see, successfully government avoided for all these years, 1994 to 2017, and 14 years, I think, 1994, 2017, not 4, 94 plus 6, 22 to 23 years it avoided. Now, in the years to come, you will be having classification disputes, more litigation, more waste of time, but inevitable. So, here the dispute is whether it is to be whether plastic nameplates of motor vehicles are to be treated as other plastics or motor vehicles. Okay. Now, I think I need not read the facts of the case. You read, because we save time. I have already explained. What I would like to explain here is, the court has very well decided, the Supreme Court has decided. Even high courts normally don't make mistakes, but we cannot expect a higher level apex court. The Supreme Court decided that plastic nameplates are in any way connected with the motor vehicles. They are not prepared for anything. nowhere it is used. They are used for motor vehicles only. They are part and parcel of this. So they have to be classified as parts and accessories of motor vehicles, right? So very simple logic, very simple logic. And Supreme Court, the case went up to Supreme Court. The reason is classification and valuation matters directly go to the Supreme Court. They cannot be decided by the High Court. From tribunal straight away go to Supreme Court, because the tax is of repetitive nature. And I tell you one technical point I would like to explain to you, because this is no longer, even the entire law is being put into dustbin. Anyway, before that, maybe for November attempt it is still there now. Let me explain the legal point. If you look at rules for interpretation, if you look at the rules for interpretation, rule 3A, 3B and 3C, if you recall these rules relating to classification, this is specific description shall prevail over general description. If two things are possible to be described, one is fitting into a general description, other one is fitting into specific description, the specific should prevail over general. The plastic nameplates are no doubt plastic products. That is under general description. But specific, what is specific? These plastic nameplates are specific to the automobile industry, particularly motor vehicles. So when a plastic nameplate fits into motor vehicles accessories, why should we put under general description? So motor accessories to motor vehicles is a specific description that should be followed. So you should not go for anything otherwise. Essential character irrelevant, the latter the better principle irrelevant. So by following rule 3A, the Supreme Court rightly held that this is to be classified as parts and accessories of motor vehicles. Next case study is this is not case study, actually this is something similar to case study. I skipped. There is one more case study, very good case study, that is Kandra Ramesh Babu. Kandra. This is last one, 7C. Kandra Ramesh Babu. This fellow must be from Andhra Pradesh. But decided by Bombay High Court. You must be there somewhere around. The facts are very simple. This is under service tax. Lengthy, I can read also, but let me explain. Under service tax and also excise, of course, arrest provisions have been introduced. Say if your liability is above 50 lakhs and you have willfully defaulted in payment, or you have collected the amount from the customers but you have not deposited with the government, it is treated as a very serious offence. So you can be arrested also, provided that the amount is, you have done it willfully, obviously, you have collected but you have not deposited with the government. Read section 89 anyway, Finance Act. So arrest provisions, the offence has been made non-cognizable, the offence has been made cognizable and also non-bailable. Cognizable and non-bailable means, cognizable means a person can be arrested without any warrant or order from the magistrate or commissioner, as the case may be. An officer can arrest without any warrant or order, number one, because it is cognizable. Number two, non-bailable means bail will not be granted normally. Automatically, you cannot claim bail as a matter of right in case of non-bailable offence. So, this fellow, there was an arrear. He collected the amounts, and a small amount he deposited. He collected service tax from his customers. He deposited a small amount. Not that he did not, and there is an arrear. And after that, there was a law. There was an arrear, and after that, there was a law. It is in continuation. He is continuing his business, no doubt, and he continued to be a defaulter. And at a particular point of time, see, before and after the amendment, after the change of law, here there is an arrear, and the arrear continued, and in this particular, at this particular point of time, the offence is made non-bailable and arrest could be made. The person can be arrested. If you look at the provisions, amendments in 2013-14, you will find that. And here also there is an arrear plus further arrears, and in fact he collected the amounts, small amount he paid, but arrear plus arrear, and the department arrested him. Department arrested. He states, why do you take this? You leave it. Why this arrear you count? You count this arrear only. If you count this arrear only, you are not empowered to arrest me, because the law came from this particular point. And accordingly, see, for example, 50 lakh rupees, more than 50 lakh rupees. Now it is 2 crore rupees. It should be more than 2 crore rupees. You have collected from the customers and but not deposited, and the amount is more than 2 crore rupees. Otherwise, you cannot be arrested. Okay. So he objects. He says, after the law has been amended, the arrear amount did not cross the limit so as to enable you to arrest me. See, he did not object. Okay, liability is there, I am liable to pay, I am a defaulter, but on that account you cannot arrest me. Arresting me is not wrong. With the arresting me under the post facto legislation, because the law came now. And why do you take this into account? When the liability was there, arrear was there, the law was different. Under the changed law, it is like post facto legislation, ex post facto legislation. If you look at Article 20, Clause 1 of Constitution of India, ex post facto legislation, something like that. He raised the point. But the department contended, no, it is not like that. It is a continuing offence. Continuing offence means here is an offence, and the offence continued, and the offence is continuing. When the offence is continuing, everything should be counted. So we count this plus this, and we add up this also, this into this, then your amount is crossing the limits, and then it is a fit case for arrest, and we have arrested. What is the decision? The revenue succeeded anyway. Bombay High Court said, yes, it is a continuing offence. So for a continuing offence, the previous law, even the arrear under the previous law will be counted here, and the government has rightly done, the department has rightly done in arresting, it is justified. But I tell you, this created a lot of controversy, and there were number of articles on this, and if the case goes to Supreme Court, I don't know exactly whether the case went to Supreme Court or not on an appeal, probably the Supreme Court would have decided in a different way. There is a possibility, not guarantee, there is no guarantee. Who am I to say? It is in their wisdom, the Supreme Court will decide. But there is a possibility, 50-50 chances that this case is reversed by Supreme Court. But so far, only the Bombay High Court has decided, and no information, further information on this. This is a case. So, prior to 10th May 2013, it was bailable, and after 10th May 2013, it became non-bailable, and you have considered both to arrest him. That was a wrong thing according to the party, but the Bombay High Court says it is a continuing offence, so this is also counted, this can be counted, and to make the offence as fit for arrest. Okay? So, the question has a very intelligent point. What the examiner is asking, discuss with the help of decided case law whether the contention of the SS is maintainable or revenue will succeed in this contention. Okay. So far so good, we write the case. And if revenue succeeds in its contention, see, he is giving a clue. If the revenue succeeds, in fact revenue succeeded, what could be the term of imprisonment as per the amended section 89? As per the latest amendment, what is that prevailing condition? That is, he is asking. Of Finance Act 1994. It is 7 years, because he has collected the amount is, he has given the amounts, the amounts are more than 2 crore. If you look at the case, facts of the case are more than 2 crore. So, for this imprisonment is maximum imprisonment of 7 years with a minimum of 6 months. This is the answer he is expecting. If your answer sheet, because that is the reason why it is said, you have to read the question very carefully. As per the latest amended law, you have to quote. And as per the latest amended law, the limit is 2 crore. It should be amount more than 2 crore. And you have collected the amount, but you have not deposited, and the amount is more than 2 crores. These conditions you have to see, and then you can be arrested. And what is the punishment? Maximum imprisonment, maximum 7 years with a minimum of 6 months. Of course, for special reasons, the minimum of 6 months can be reduced by the court. On what grounds it can reduce? The grounds also have been given, negative. So, that is why I tell you this is a very good question paper with bouncers, invisible bouncers like this, and other questions like I tell you. Of course, answers I have prepared, you can send a mail to me. Those who already sent, I am sending mails because everything is ready, typing, everything done. This is the WhatsApp number, this is the email number. Please remember, please subscribe to my channel and send me a mail. You will be getting, you will be continuing to get whatever information that you require. Maybe sometimes you have some clarification, you need some clarification, doubts, etc. For those doubts and clarifications also you can, and in fact we do provide video lectures through what you can say pen drive also, both media, English medium and also Hindi come English mixed. And I tell you some of the questions, for example, so how intelligent these questions are. Question number 5C. This is about Rule 5 of POTR, Point of Taxation Rules. A full question based on Rule 5 of Point of Taxation Rules, where the service became taxable for the first time. Then what is the treatment? Particularly a student of IPC, he will not be able to understand what Rule 5 is talking about. Of course, at final level, students understand. So, very good question. like this other questions, penalties, etc. they have given, and so this is the story. So thank you very much for your patient hearing. Subscribe, and you can find a mail for the printed answers. Of course, soft copy you will be getting. So thank you very much.